This is Biafra Radio, and this is Rite of Return. Coming to you, your host today is Mazi and iwuagwu, and we are going to evaluate the prescription of our IPOB, the Igbos. In a nutshell, we are the Igbos and members of IPOB. We are looking into the prescription handed over to handed down to IPOB by the appeals court some time ago. Today, we are going to evaluate the anatomy of the plot. Who are the members of IPOB who are proscribed by the government of Nigeria? These are the evil people, and from some concept of error, some of us see IPOB not as a member of a particular ethnic group, but to me, I see that as a complete oxymoron. Some of us look at IPOB as an organization, and in so doing, lose our identification of that particular tribe in Nigeria, the Igbos. The proscribed people are denied the right of identity. Yet, there are people who deny themselves membership of this organization or of this tribe. Yet, they have representation in the government of Nigeria. They are in the Senate, they are in the House, and they're all over the place. They have governors. And these governors deny themselves the membership of indigenous people of that particular ethnic group. What are we looking at? People who do not believe that they are affected by the behavior of the government of Nigeria. In a nutshell, what they are saying is, we are Igbos, but we are not IPOB. We are not members of the proscribed group. Where is the identification coming from? We are not belonging to this group. We are not in association with them. When we break it down, what it seems like to me is that these people in politics from this particular ethnic group, they see themselves, they see the privilege or opportunity that they arrogate to themselves. that they are privileged group. We are not part of them. We are not part of this organization. They are proscribed. Our people are killed every day. Our people are kidnapped. Our people are tortured, put in different prisons. That word, IPOB membership, becomes a label for destruction. And the people in politics see it as a privilege to arrogate values to themselves. We are the privileged members of the Igbos, but we are not IPOB. IPOB is destined for destruction, destined for torture, destined for maltreatment. Does it make sense to anybody? But let us bring some common sense to it. In actuality, what these people are doing is this. Whatever belongs to the Igbos belongs to us. We are the politicians. We don't need them. They didn't vote us in. Therefore, whatever benefit that comes from it belongs to me and belongs to whoever that I feel like bringing in or giving the honor of inclusive in what we are doing. The rest of them are out of it. Only those approved by the Congress people, by the governors. They are the people we represent. The rest of them are proscribed people and therefore doomed for destruction. That's not the way. And then, if we go back to the Igbos who, so to say, are doomed for destruction, those who are members of IPOB, what happens there? You find out that even the so-called politicians in there are marginalized without understanding what they are doing to themselves. When you deny your people, I don't know what value you arrogate to yourself. Your people do not have representation, but you claim a representative of these people, but to the government, they are proscribed. They have no right. They are treated like terrorists. Who are you representing? You are in representation of people you cannot identify. You are representing the people that are being destroyed each and every day. Therefore, what's the benefit? What do you benefit from what you do? If we look deep into what is going on there, we find out that the Igbos in politics are denying themselves the true value of who they are without understanding and without knowing what they are doing to themselves. For the true value of a people to show in representation, the benefits other people from other tribes get out of their representation or representing their people. They are making certain demands to the government for their patronage. These people or these representatives from other tribes demand quid pro quo for their patronage on behalf of their people. But our people, the Igbos, demand gratification to themselves for what they do. And I don't know if they understand the pitfalls of such demand. Gratification for individuals and not for the people. Whatever benefit they get from the government is for the people. But these benefits are quantified differently according to them because the people they are representing are proscribed. They have no need for redress. They cannot complain, send their grievances to anybody. The government is not interested in what they do. Whichever way they see their regress, the criminal justice system does not extend any benefits to them. Therefore, everything is chaotic. People are lost in different ways. They don't know where to go for redress. The people who are representing them don't pay them any attention. The government don't pay them any attention. So the question here is, what actually are we going to do? How do we address this particular issue? When we break it down, we can identify a typical behavior of the colonial masters, where they identify the people as valueless, people who cannot key into their value system. Therefore, separate them from their people and destroy them. Today, we are really going to evaluate what is going on in the southeast of Nigeria. What we have come to identify is that our people are very much underestimated and underguided what has been meted out to them. The whole place is chaotic. People are killed every day. Our governors make their own rules, take it out of control. Recently, certain behaviors that we acknowledge went out of control, completely out of sync. And one of the presiding governors in the East went completely out of his area of control, sent out his thugs to confiscate, confiscate what they arrogate to the the tools of those they want to discredit and destroy. Governor Soludo maintained that the native doctors in Anambra State have operational tools, send people within the community, all who are associated with them, chicken and what our people call are confiscated and the people arrested for the simple reason that they are accused of using those materials in their craft. What does that mean? The governor understands what he was doing and knows exactly where he was going. He understands the abrogation of the culture or the culture he was trying to destroy. But he was only bringing to light what he thinks he can destroy from the people and nobody will ask him. He was doing all these things in pretext of destroying the trade of native doctors in Igbo land. Why he chose to go that direction and attack those people is only known to him. It is indeed a very difficult situation in our land. And what is coming our way is something, excuse me. Give me a few minutes. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. This is Biafra Radio, and we are on the program Rite of Return. This program is educative in nature. And today, the main issue of our broadcast today that we are looking at is the proscription of our people. This is a ruling meted down to IPOB by the Appeals Court of Nigeria in Abuja. And what we are looking at today, we are trying to break down the anatomy of the plot. This proscription was only legitimized by the political class of Ndibo. They have legitimized it in the sense that they claim they do not belong to the organization captioned IPOB. But what is IPOB? IPOB is the belonging of individuals as indigenous people within the areas of Igbo land. But what's the plot of this profile? Our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who is on trial for what? For the charges I give no merit. The political class of Ndibo have different profiles. And I look at such profile and what they do. At some level of disconformity, because whatever is going on in Igbo land, they take they do not take any blame for what happens in that area because they are always pointing finger to the other person who is responsible. They are not responsible. Therefore, it is for their benefit. Even those outside the community understand the simple fact that if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is in control of what is happening within that area, the east, the eastern zone of Nigeria, the collective presence of the governors will amount to nothing. So they are scared of the privilege. Okay, okay. I'm just reading what people are putting down here. But the governors in the area, they understand very well that if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of indigenous people of Biafra, is free, that their presence will amount to nothing. People will listen to him and follow him, and people will obey his commands. Therefore, they distance themselves from the group we see as indigenous to the place. So it provides them much benefit to serve the people who are killing their people, who are incarcerating their people. If they isolate themselves and answer the beckon of their masters, instead of calling for the unification of our people and peace within the area and the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, that may not be to their benefit. So, in a nutshell, they are tacit to the incarceration or detention of a leader as they continue to pillage and enjoy whatever the government gives to them. They present themselves as representatives of the people in the area, when in actual fact, they are benefiting, taking gratification from what is being accorded to the people. They are not demanding full patronage for the representation on the people in Igbo land. So the continuous detention of our leader is to the benefit. They enjoy it, they encourage it, and pretend that they want him to be released. When in actual fact, they are supporting the people who are incarcerating our leader. At a point, when in 2021, our leader was renditioned to Abuja, one of the senators from Navy South, or I don't know if it's South or not, who is deceased as we speak, Senator Ifeanyi made a statement that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was renditioned from Kenya to Nigeria with a private jet that belongs to his friend. After some time, Mazi find ways to alter the statement he made. But unfortunately, that confession stuck to a lot of people. But Senator Ifeanyi did not disclose who that friend was, whose jet was used to rendition Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I make this statement to buttress what I was saying, that the Eastern politicians are secretly supporting what the Nigerian government is doing. And they give the impression that they want the leader of indigenous people of Biafra to be released, when they are the people who are orchestrating the detention of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. For the simple reason that he intimidates them. But how can they assume that he intimidates them, when actually it is the people who prefer him, prefer to listen to him, prefer to follow him, because they understand what he does, and he tells them the truth. So it's a common knowledge that it is our people, the politicians from the eastern part of the country, by their privilege, insisting that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu be contained in Nigerian DSS. So it's quite obvious. And the benefit to them is very clear and very obvious that they are privy to the detention of a leader. And they continue to give the wrong notion that they are soliciting the government, not the judiciary, because every form of judicial procedure is gone. The judiciary can tell you that we have no reason to hold him in detention. Some claim that only political clarification or political understanding can free him. However, this understanding and political clarification, where will it come from? It has become very obvious that the clarification they're talking about is indirectly referring to our own people who are holding him. It is very clear that these are the people whose interest they have to take care of. So the detention of our leader basically is not out of ordinary. It is clear and defined conspiracy of the Southeast politicians who feel threatened that the freedom of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will be to the detriment of their very existence as governors, as representatives in either house, or as leaders in different forms in Igbo community. Therefore, we look into the reality of what it has become. Our leader on 21st of March will appear before another judge. What will that mean? What is the judge coming to do? Is the judge coming to tell us they have formulated new charges? Is the judge coming to tell us that the former judges were wrong? Or that He has something new to present to people of the world, or to present to the people that there are charges that would that could be superimposed on whatever charges they have against it. The Supreme Court, the last time they were in session to look at the case, made it very clear that there will be no judgment or trial to be made over extraordinary rendition. The legal team of Mazi made it very clear, even before the appeals court delivered their judgment, that for this case to proceed, there must be a case within a case, hearing within hearing. And some other legal gentlemen put it that the judicial system of Nigeria cannot benefit from their own illegality. With extraordinary rendition, they cannot. I mean, they cannot do anything with that case. And I wonder what judge this time will preside over the case. What case will he look into? Extraordinary rendition or terrorism charges? It will be interesting. And those who are in the legislators, I wonder if they do understand what the law means or what law they legislate. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know which law school make those legislators and what they understand by the law they put in the book. Onyendu Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, in his last court appearance, he said the major flaw of the lawyers in Nigeria is that they do not understand the law. They have their law, but the concept of the law eludes them. They do not understand it. Sometimes it is very frustrating looking at the laws, the rulings of the courts in Nigeria. It is extremely frustrating to follow the laws. Most of the time, when I read the writings of the legal team, especially coming from Mazi Jimako, I feel very weak. I feel subdued to an extent. I wonder the type of patience he has to follow these people who knowingly bend the law, break the law, and completely traverse the law. I asked the question, why would they do this? I said, oh, okay, I have an idea. Knowing that they are not making any way forward, they're not moving any forward, they're not going anywhere. But the only thing they accomplish by doing what they do is to hold him down, continue the detention, illegal detention of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, knowing that in the end, no criminal law, no court of justice in that country will impose any penalty to the government or to the people who bend the law on purpose. Even though they know they committed crime, they know they did things punishable by their own law, but it will come to nothing. Nothing will come out of it. And even those who present false charges, there will be no penalty for them. None of those things will amount to anything. All they want is to mete out the punishment to satisfy their conscience, their hate, their arrogance. As long as they feel satisfied, we have punished him to the extent which we want. That's what they want. When I look at it as a shame to humanity, shame to all those who falsify what is clearly the way of error, that they choose to falsify it. On 21st of this month, the saga will continue. On that day, we will go back. We will go back there to observe the circus again because the clown will definitely be there. We are going to be there and see what purpose that will serve. The direct mission of every court appearance for the so-called judiciary of Nigeria is to hear another adjournment. Was the purpose of the adjournment to punish Nnamdi Kanu, get him back in detention, and time continues to move. Their purpose is to hold him there, and time continues to move. It's been more than 4 years since Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped and renditions to Nigeria. The mistake in this carnage is that we will not get tired of it. They hold him 5 years, 6 years, will be there. And he will continue to be in the news. We will continue to remember it. We will bring it to light. We will not stop. There's no given day you will go to bed without thinking about holding him down, because you cannot hold him down without holding yourself down. There'll be no peace until you let him go. When he sees peace, then you will see peace. When he is in detention, to some measure, you will be in detention. You guys will be in detention until you let him go. You let him out because you have no reason to hold him. You are not holding him for any purpose. You are not holding him for any reason. I don't care who you want to pacify. So our leader will be in courtroom in Abuja on 21st of March 2025. Those who want to hold him down there will continue to watch. and observe. The naivety of the whole thing, the entire episode or the entire saga amounts to nothing. Like he said, whatever anybody does about the purpose of this agitation, it will not stop the agitation. A lot of people in the agitation are getting old and new ones are being recruited. The war was fought and a very long respite happened, almost 50 years before it resurrected. That interval is not going to be there anymore. This time, the new breed of agitators for the restoration of Biafra are not going to be tired. Greater part of the movie is happening in their time. So nobody can put seal on it. That the history they are creating cannot be diminished. The history of 1966 through 67 through 70, for some reason, was diminished. It's not taught in school. It's not documented. It has been distorted for some reason. But the recent history is being created every day. It is documented. Thank God for social media. The documentation this time around cannot be diminished by anybody. So it is in continuity. If this struggle takes another 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, it will only be a continuation of what happened yesterday. A day in the struggle will be a continuation of yesterday. So for those of you who are advocating banning history, you banned all the history you can. History is making itself. History builds itself every day. So when you are thinking that you can delete the memory of what is happening to our people from their head, it is recorded somewhere. If you remove it from the classroom, it is always on social media. When it turns not go away. They have ways of resurrecting it. So there'll be no rest. For those of you who think you can diminish the people, go and blame the social media. Blame the people who are indulging in the social media. They are the people who are keeping it alive each and every day. You cannot delete it again. You cannot ban it again. You cannot remove it from the consciousness of our people. It has come to stay. It is a way of life. And the way of life of your behavior cannot diminish the struggle of a people. If you think you can do that, you're wasting your time. Gowan is currently in a very bad predicament. I wonder what's going through his mind. Each and every day he goes around life and sees the seed he planted. And the way they are watering it, his descendants are watering it. Those who are now making statements they think will make a difference, will change what their conscience has told them they did wrong. It doesn't matter. It makes no difference. Babangida coming back to proclaim that the coup of 1966 is not Igbo coup. What difference does it make? How many people died? How many people were destroyed for that single lie? The lie was told, and it took the life of hundreds of thousands of people. Single lie, one single lie. And after so many years, I'm sure he's not going broke. He's not going broke. He made money. He acquired wealth when he told the lie. Now he sees it fit to alter the lie he told and be honored by those he told those lies, by those who helped him kill people because of the lie he told. They came together and made him richer. What does it mean? And he expects people to clap for him? He lied. And altered the lie he told almost 60 years ago. And his friends get around him to congratulate him. That's a funny world. It's funny and very ridiculous. Ladies and gentlemen, the grim summary of our discussion today is that we are, to a great measure, our own great enemies. The behavior of our people, I've tried to discuss with them some social commentators. And what they told me was that the community of Igbos in eastern part of Nigeria went through a great shock. And the shock, or to some extent, altered their behavior and sent greater part of the community in a survival mood, that our people are in survival mode. That makes it an incredible discussion. For 60 years after the decimation of our people, not knowing that, I wonder who still remembers that a greater part of the community was relocated in different parts of the world and were quickly forgotten immediately after the Civil War. The rest of the people who survived went into a shock. That's what the explanation they gave to me, that greater part of our people went into shock. And whatever it is they remembered was wiped out from their memory completely. And the truth was not given to the children, those who survived that war, or those who were born after the war. To some remarkable measure, few people who held onto any relevant message or relevant understanding of what happened to our forebears, start asking questions. And from their questions, we start remembering, and people started talking. And until this day, we are still in survival mode. We forgot who we are. And some of us embraced the enemy who killed our uncles, who killed our brothers, who killed our fathers. we embrace them so we can survive? Those of us who survived the war find it difficult to survive the peace. In surviving the peace, people with different understanding of what happened at the time. People with bold resolve emerged from different places. First, Owazurike, and today we have Mazen Namdekano. Eventually, these are people who emerged after the Civil War. And the Civil War came because of failure of different proportions. The failure of our people who had a different mindset. Could it be the same mindset we see today? Of some evil leaders or people in representation who thought it fit and right to ask for their own personal gratification and not for the patronage, for the services or the representation of the people. Usually, when we are in the service of people, everything about personal gratification is suspended, but rather we seek quid pro quo patronage on behalf of our people. But that was not so. The politicians of those days, in the 50s and 60s, had the same selfish sense of gratification, which failed and continue to fail today. And now we are arrogating a sense of survival. The shock sent us into survival mood. That we are in the mood to survive because of the shock of what we had, of what happened to our forebears, of the way we were treated. But in the years I have existed as an Igbo man, something that has become very peculiar to me and has happened within my understanding of realization of who we are is that we have never taken responsibility for what we did, but rather we have one finger ahead of us and the rest pointing behind. We are never responsible for what happened to us. But today, people are taking responsibility. The IPOB, in whatever form you observe them, in whatever way you look at them, how you perceive members of IPOB makes no difference because we are all guilty of the same offense. We are Igbos. But the difference is people who stood up for who we are have taken responsibility. Nnamdi Kanu, in his last court appearance, he proclaimed, I am the leader of indigenous people of Biafra. He did not make suggestions about it. Say, I am here because I am the leader of indigenous people of Biafra. What does that make some people feel? Does it give you any type of goosebumps? When I had that, I sat back and listened. How listen to that word being repeated to me over and over. I had that proclamation right in my head so many times over. They kidnapped him for being a leader of indigenous people of Biafra. And in the courtroom, he is reminding them that I am the leader of indigenous people of Biafra. But you are not charging me for that. You are not charging me for that. But that's who I am. And your governors, your members of the House, are taking personal gratification on your behalf. Who they have pushed up for proscription They condemned you before your enemies. Your people condemned you before your enemies. And then Nnamdi Kanu is standing in the courthouse and telling them, I am the leader of indigenous people of Biafra. And most of you, without being asked, are putting a poster saying, I am not. What a difference. He has taken responsibility. And most people today are taking responsibility. What are we going to see on 21st? More reminder, more responsibility, or what? It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I must make a confession that we are supposed to be coming to this broadcast twice a week. That we have barely scratched this program, the Right of Return. We are going to sit up before the next broadcast, which will be on 21st of March. We are going to have another broadcast possibly on Wednesday. And whatever broadcast we're going to have will help us in developing the right of return. So please join us again on Wednesday, which probably will be today is 15. Say probably the 19th. We may have a short program on that day because on Friday we will have the court date program. And in developing this program, we may have We may have to get people calling and help us in developing this program. Or if they consider it appropriate, be suggestive in the program development. Because like I said before, this program is designed to be not suggestive, but educative in nature. And those who are interested in joining the program, whenever we will be in the air. We may have to encourage such people to come forward and contribute whatever they deem appropriate in developing this program, the Right of Return. I've explained what the program is all about. And if we may, if we have to revisit such explanation and have a retouch on the Right of Return, I will gladly do that. So, ladies and gentlemen, we may have to call it quit today, even though we started them late. We beg your indulgence in doing that. Um, Whenever we schedule our program, sometimes we run into minor difficulties, which are technical in nature. But in the end, we come on and we execute what we prepare for that day. Our next program most likely will be on Wednesday. Following the Wednesday program, we'll have a Saturday program. During and possibly after the hearing of Onyendu's case on March 21st. I thank those of you who are listening to the program. I thank you, Mazi Izumezi. I, I see you there. Thank you so much for coming in, for listening. Mazi Chie Ezioku. I thank you. And above all, Mazi Kechko Nora. All thanks to you. I give you every kudos for the time you spent in helping to make this broadcast a success. I welcome all those who are listening, whose comments or whose names do not appear on this. I'm asking those of you who have the desire to contribute to what we're doing now, the desire to join us. You know how to reach me, and we can make it a reality next time. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Thank you.